Hey everyone, I'm Wa.
And I'm Chris, and welcome to DocuSweeties.
We are two longtime friends who discuss the riveting and sometimes trashy world of reality TV and docuseries.
Yes, but through our own lens, which, is salty and very, very bitter. I mean, just, I would say definitely acidic. And I mean the kind of like, like what mobsters would use to like burn bodies, like in bathtubs and all the, like the skin and like stuff would just go down the drain and then there'd be nothing left. And like, shh. But at the end of the day, hopefully mildly sweet. Hi!
Hi, and what Chris is talking about is lye. Lye. It's what you put when you put the body in the tub, you fill it with lye and then it just like dissolves the body. This episode is called Love During Lockup, season 4, episode 7, Bonded for Life.
Yeah. Really, what a beautiful thought, like a wedding thought, But in this thought, we're talking about Renika now. I think because she thought that she was going to pay the bond, right? Is this
No,
what it was
I
called
thought
then?
she knew she wasn't going to pay for it. I have no idea what's called this.
Oh, maybe it's actually Savannah. Because obviously she had a bananas scene. I mean, Savannah, the scene with Savannah just made me feel like, well, this is all fake. This can't, she's a plant. Honey, I think she's a plant. Now, for some reason, I don't understand her friend Caitlin's involvement in this at all.
No, and the friends are like, she's like, "Is this weird?" And they're like, "Yeah, yeah. You are the friend that is the furthest away from getting married. So it's really weird that we're here right now. And then you've put on an Old Navy dress. This whole
Nope.
situation is
I've never in my life, never in my life, have I but also, can I be honest? Just okay, yes. It was just also the spectrum of looks that she tried on. She tried on 3 looks. And I mean, what did she say to them? Hi, I want just let a dog go out into the like and just let him sniff the first 3 plastic things, and whatever the first 3 plastic things are, bring them in. There was no rhyme or reason for anything that happened, but there's been no rhyme or reason for Savannah at all. Do you want to start with them? I don't even
yeah,
feel like I
since we're
have.
here, let's go here.
Since we're
So the first couple that we're talking about is Savannah and Jake. And you guys, there's no Jake in this episode, okay? It's Savannah,
what,
Caitlin, and some
Jake?
other friend.
Yeah.
Yes. So we start out this episode where she's really trying to convince her friends, Megan and Caitlin, that this is a good idea. So they're her good best Judies. I mean, they take photos with frosted eyeshadow and like that style that you do where you like flat iron the front part of your hair and then you like zhuzh up the back. Like they were giving us all of 2003 we could ever want.
I also, we're supposed to believe that they're kind of there to hang out, but then the way that Savannah sets it up is like, "Hey, I'm here with my best friends," and like they're just like the kind of people that like will just always let me kind of do what I want to do, and if I have like a crazy idea, like they're down. But then one of them is also getting married, and so I think that she is low key like, "Yeah, we're gonna go. I'm gonna look at some bridesmaids. You can look at a wedding dress." But when they get there, what Savannah does is like straight up be like, "So I want to look at a wedding dress," and that one that's just getting married is like, "You." And then Savannah's like contradicts herself completely. She's kind of like, I know it sounds weird and they might not be into it. I'm like, I thought these were your best white Judies that how you do whatever you want all the time or whatever. And then she's like, she's so psychotic. She's like, it might look weird, because he like basically told everyone that he doesn't want to marry me over and over again, that his family like straight up hates me and he'll be in prison for the next like 10 years. And even when he gets out, he wants to like absolutely fuck as many females as possible. I can't wait to smell like the hairs of everyone else in the entire world. He's like said this to me. And yet I'm going to try on wedding dresses and we'll just show up day of with a wedding dress. And then like her friends just blink and look at the cameras. And I just want to be like, yeah, girls, just so you know, for the rest of our lives, we know that you are associated with this person's choices, this way this person lives her life. This person, I guess, is at your wedding too. You've made that decision. I see your faces. I clock them, all 3 of you, on the like most wanted list of people I will never interact with, like, because I just want to like live. I feel like my life depends on that choice. Well,
Wow. I definitely see where you're going, but I have the exact words and I will read them for you. This is like masterpiece theater, but not. So I do agree with you. It's crazy because I didn't understand exactly why they were at this place looking for bridesmaids dresses. I wasn't sure who was getting married. I didn't realize it was one of the people that was there. So now it's like face crack that she actually tries on wedding dresses. And when she's talking to the person who works there, she's like, I'm looking for something that is going to be casual because it's going to be, and the person's like, indoor. And she's like, definitely indoor, indoor behind bars, in fact. And then the person is like, yeah, okay, so it's like a courthouse wedding, house wedding. And she's like, something like that. And so she cons this woman to give her champagne and go back and find these dresses. And then she puts on these outfits that are dumb. One doesn't even look like something she would wear. And the other one is like a pearl, like strapped jumpsuit. And the last one is the dress that I said from her. But here's what the quote is. When people line up that Jake doesn't want to live with me together when he first gets out of prison, that he may want to explore other women, and that, you know, his mom and I don't really have a great relationship, it doesn't look good. But if you actually take the time to understand his reasoning behind it, and if you believe what I believe, which is an unconditional love, then it wouldn't bother anybody. And we're like, this is beyond unconditional love. This is like you wanting to own him, aka like, and also like be in a relationship with somebody who's telling you they don't want to be in a relationship with you, and then you're gonna like go to wherever he is with a white dress on. Crazy.
I'm gonna tell you this right now. Out of the 3 looks, she should have absolutely picked the white pearl jumper. I mean, absolutely. I mean, out of those 3, there could have been other options, but if you're gonna give me those 3, it was not the first dress because you know, I don't know. Like, I didn't understand it, but I will tell you this. I kind of want Savannah to just come out and also kind of be like, oh, I don't care if Jake wants to bone other people. Like, we're going to be in a polyamorous relationship. Like, he's going to have many wives, because I believe that. I would believe that she'd be down with that. Now, no, having said this, I will come full circle and say that I kind of adore watching her. She is a perfect amount of cringy, and I think that she's bananas crazy. And I don't think also like anything actually horrible would happen in her story or circumstance, which makes it a little easier and more palatable to like have fun with. And so I will give her that. There's a nice, like, she's kind of like cotton candy, like trashy cotton candy, but you know, like, I'm gonna have cotton candy for the rest of my life. Oh, like once a year. What? Why'd you look at me like that? You don't like cotton candy?
Trashy cotton candy doesn't sound delicious.
Oh, but isn't cotton candy somewhat trashy? Oh, is that a dog? I thought I heard him. Sorry, I thought I thought a golden retriever was in your apartment for a second. I was like, honey, who's Lassie? Okay.
Lassie is not a golden retriever. Lassie is a collie, so I'm gonna help with that one. Alcy. Okay, Alcy. Also, well, there's a lot to unpack there. Someone says bye, Felicia. And we don't understand. I don't remember in what context or why someone would say bye, Felicia, as though like they A, know where that is referenced from, and B, like that's even popular anymore.
It happened so fast, and the shot was the 2 friends like going through the racket, and I was like, is that Caitlin that said that? Both of them look too young to even know it. When she said, I was like, is that real? Like, was that a real thing? It almost feels like an AI like added line, because there was like some weird, I don't know, blull, and they were just like, pretend that Caitlin said something, you know.
Yeah, it's so interesting that came into popularity, and I first remember that from Friday. Bye, Felicia. But now everybody says it in like bye, Felicia, as though like
you're right.
Like, yeah, it's just interesting. So
that's so funny. That's like any of it's like, you know, like supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, and then suddenly someone's like, yeah, you know, like supercalifragilisticexpialidodo. You know, you're just like, what? That's not how it goes. But like, that's not exactly how it sounds in the movie. Like, no, like it just like it somehow like has gone through a telephone game, and it's like enough New York people said it that like now that's how you say. I don't know. This is really bad. Anyway,
it's like dead ass. It's like when people used to say people still say dead ass, but like for the longest time in New York, I was like dead ass. That sounds like someone's dead literal ass, and they're like,
Yeah.
no, like dead ass serious, but we just don't say serious anymore. You dead ass? Oh, I'm dead ass. And then I would say dead ass. So
It also sounds like dad ass, like, are you about that ass? Like, I'm about that ass, like, oh, that was me loud. Sorry about that. Well, who?
So one thing that keeps on being repeated to me is in a commercial when I'm watching on my app is I love him beyond reason or wit. And as like a Shakespearean whore, it hurts me so much when someone just like takes prose and just butchers it in such a manner that bears repeating. But anyways, you know what, you guys, let's take a commercial so that y'all can help us, make some money.
I just want to ask one more time during commercial. Do you think that it was a bit that was a third dress and it was the most basic dress that it doesn't even look like a wedding dress? And she was like, oh, it's perfect. I almost kind of wish, and I wonder why this didn't happen. Wouldn't it have been LOL if she really did start to cry and they brought over like a veil and put it on?
Oh my god.
Like, say it's to the
No.
dress style, like.
She has been trying to be on a reality TV show for a long time.
Oh
And
yeah, what
it's
was she
just
on?
no, she just went on podcasts and did a bunch of stuff because she was dating him, and she was trying to like, I don't know, garner some kind of, I don't know, girl. But like she didn't meet him looking for a role. She met him from some other space, but then like has this whole backstory on love during lockup. And that's what kind of makes it hard for me to watch because it's so obvious that things are fake. Like Caitlyn being there and the whole setup where she calls him and he's like, no. And then the other situation with the wedding dresses, it just, that freaking old navy dress with with the sparkly like pearl headband as her wedding outfit is crazy. It's crazy. Okay, I'll wait for you to come back and then we'll get started. uh Chris her mic went out and she like left a message as though she was Docky Sweetie to let me know. So I was a little confused for a second.
Hello, and I'm back. Yes, my mic just had a little technical difficulty, and now I'm on the other side of the screen for fun peeps. Okay, so sorry about it. 13 minutes. All right, so our next Coops Badoops is, let's go on to someone just like dumb, getting out of the way, like Brittany and Karak. This is a weird scene, right, Boo?
Yes, who knew this entire time that EB identified as he, one, and then two, what do you think EB stands for? Does it stand for like Elaine Brittany or like Elaine Barbara or like Emily Barbara or Emily, what's a B lady name?
Oh no,
Beverly?
you didn't. I thought that EB was definitely identified as he. Oh,
Oh,
yeah, no, I just because he's friends with Karak. No, I definitely made that connection easily. I was like, oh yeah, these people are both he's Biggie. Yeah, they're bros. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that read to me. But I will tell you this. This is LOL to me that this conversation between these two people happened at a place called Gracie's Cottage. My loves, they pull up to your aunt's favorite fucking like boutique weird. It's like half of it is the people that loved like shabby chic, they're still alive, and then the other people are like, if they were to go to buy a candle, and it's like, of course, cottage core. It's like Brittany, Gibi, Karak, not anyone ever on the show to me would enjoy Gracie's Cottage, but like maybe it was the place, honey, that they could get. Okay, I mean, I don't know, but just so funny. Like Brittany's like, I just like coming here to smell like the candles, like. But then they have a horrible conversation where basically EB is just like, I stop you. Again, I've been saying it. I was wrong with you. So every time I ask you a question, it's because I already know the answer. And then she has 5 more questions until she realizes that she's being stalked. I mean,
Yeah. And it's so interesting because EB is so strong in his conviction that something is up. Like, he's not even like arguing. He's like, listen, I hung out in front of your apartment and I saw a guy pick you up, and you're not doing my friend right. And she's like, and he's like, I'm sorry that my manner comes off a bit aggressive, and I don't mean you any harm, and I don't judge you, but you're doing my boy Karak dirt, McGurts. I don't believe EB. I think that producers put him up to some shenanigans, and I think that Brittany is not doing Karak dirty at all.
okay, I do think that Brittany's doing Karak dirty. I think that producers definitely put EB up to shenanigans. And I think that, could you imagine what they would have been if there was no EB? I don't even understand what we've been watching between them the entire time, except one missed FaceTime call while she was talking to producers. And at that point, she was so afraid that he'd be mad at her, even though like it happens on camera that she misses the FaceTime call because she's filming with them. Like, like it's such a weird and boring, boring story. I would, there are a billion other couples I'd rather watch. And including just Savannah's, like, I'd rather watch an hour-long Savannah Shakespeare monologue than them.
Wow. Okay, interesting. I like Brittany. I think her face is cute. I have a sneaky suspicion that she's Mexican because she was so interested in carne asada.
Oh,
and great. And I think that it's all trumped up drama. Like, I think she wrote into the show, her and Karak didn't have that much drama. That's why every conversation is so intense. Because they're trying to make some money on the side. They're like the Chris and Gabby. Yeah, they're trying to ring it out. They're like a way better Chris and Gabby, which they need not a young element, but they need an element that's doing well and kind of ghetto. And so we get Brittany and Karak. But yeah, I'm like, okay. I was my whole joke for this entire thing was the fact that I didn't recognize that EB was going as a he. So now that you're like, yeah, I'm like, oh, my bad. Anything else to say?
Oh. Okay. Yeah, I want to say that, like, it's so funny to me that, like, yeah, it's just so funny to me that she literally, like, EB's like, I stalk you. And then she's like, so you're saying that you know something? And it's like, she really wants EB to be like, I know that you had this guy. And she kind of like gets it out of EB at the end. And then we can't quite tell if she does have a guy on the side. And I do think that, I do think so. But like, who are they buying candles for? And did they buy any candles? Like, what? How can you go candle shopping and like not have anything happen? What?
You know what? I don't know, Chris, because I'm not somebody who enjoys window shopping. You know how much money I spent today alone? You don't want to.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
You know me? Of course I do. Tell me everything.
I went fall shopping, and I went on a cat mug.
That cat mug?
No. I'm talking about full clothing fall. I gave away 5 bags of stuff to the Salvation Army, including
the Angela tie-dye?
No.
Oh, your Cardi B.
Yeah. Yeah. I had to give it away. It was pre-pandemic. It was like 2019. It's time to go. So I gave away my and it was a size medium. Chris, a medium.
Well, also, yeah, like, especially in a small size. Yeah,
yeah. I was like, oh, it has to go.
Target.
I'm not getting back to a medium. I don't know how to get to a medium. Yeah, so
I don't know how to get to medium. I've turned left, honey. I've turned right, and I've gotten back in the freeway. No, I keep getting off. But I don't know how to get to medium.
I don't know how to get to it. So I was like,
I can't take ways.
I gotta give this away. And so then I was like, oh, well, since I gave all of that away, I need to go and spend almost $400 at American Eagle to buy some jeans because I've been seeing so many ads on my Instagram. So I went to American Eagle, bought some jeans, some shorts, some tops. Taking one thing back. And then I came home and I was like, I need sweaters, I need socks, I need shoes, I need to be on fashion this fall. So then I spent like amount of dollars at
No, I didn't hear it. I didn't hear. Okay, listen, I'll tell you right now. You better come. We have a Monday Night Live tonight.
yeah, I gotta talk about it. Everything.
I want you to come with receipts, and I mean literally. I want you to screenshot your receipts, and I want to see your shopping.
I will. So I've done all that, and now we got to move on. But if you want to join, if you want to know about what I bought, you should join us on Patreon at patreon.com/DocuSweeties for $10 a month, and you can see a live every first Monday of the month. And this first Monday of the month is today, and we are going live, and you can see all my clothes. Okay, moving on to who?
Labor Day.
Keith and Lakeisha. Labor Day.
Great. Yeah. Yes, please. Okay, so yes, yes, we are. So here we are with Keith and Lakeisha. Letitia, I'm so sorry. And as you know, she has.
What if their names were Keith and Lakeitha? What if their names were that? What if their names were that, Chris?
I know.
Go ahead.
So bad. I know. I say, obviously, there's a lot of beautiful names on this beautiful show. So, she obviously decided to buy a ring, and she had a cap of $10K, but she fell in love with a ring that was $15K. A, because she likes blingy things. B, because it's a great story, but also C, because she doesn't feel like her marriage is real, and his baby mamas and stuff like don't buy it because she like got this paper, he doesn't have to be there kind of marriage, and she has no ring and blah blah blue. So again, for some reason, Keith has just lived a life of like making a lot of money. So yeah, they have this joint bank account. And so Letitia has gone and bought this ring. And so now it's the day after, and she's at her house, and she's in this like black bra, and I'm like oh, she's like getting ready. I'm like, okay, she's like showing off her ring. I just will say this, her nails are white, and for some reason they are the thickest nails I've just ever seen in my entire life. They are thick. Every part of them are thick. It's like the acrylic that was used. It's like she like hanged her hands and then just kept falling down. They kept adding more acrylic. It's just so much product. It's just white. Anyway, so she's showing off her ring, and like she's so excited, and it's like my husband. It's like everything about like she loves saying her husband now. The bigger the ring, the more that the husband exists for her, and the more that she's a wife, and the more that her life makes sense to her. I mean, I don't know. It feels like it's feeding into something. But this whole time also Keith has this aunt, and the aunt's like, she's been like, oh, I love the aunt. Like, Aunt Marsha's my friend. And she's like, Aunt Marsha, big white nails. And so now we see her in the public. And I'll tell you, I was like, oh, that wasn't the bra that she was wearing to get ready. I realized that outfit, which I thought was literally like her underwear. And I mean, like, this maybe makes me feel like an old lady, but the way that it looked was specifically shapewear was in fact the outdoor outfit. What?
Yes. I thought she was going to put some kind of shirt on, be it sheer or like slingy or something. I thought we were going to see that, but I didn't know that it was going to be the shirt, the top. Yeah. And she gets to this daytime event. And that was another thing that threw me off, is that she's wearing this all black, skin tight, crop top type sexy outfit. And it's fully during the day. I mean, listen, I don't know about the girlies who wear all black all the time, but I didn't know that this was like something she would wear to a day party, especially because she has so many pastels and light colors in her closet that we've seen so far. And so then he calls her, and she's like, my husband calling me, my husband, my man, Keith, when burden, everybody love and respect him, my man. So she like went outside.
Really good. Yes. It's also like the eye, like, yeah. Mm-hmm.
She weaponizes her marriage, and she's like, I feel like a wife. Like, what does a wife feel like? And B, what does a wife whose husband is not at war yet not at home, what does that feel like? You taking care of them kids them kids ain't his? What house are you taking care of? Are you watching his tools? Are you cleaning out his guns? Like, what are you doing that makes you feel like a wife?
There is a certain amount of respect that she feels that she gets to claim now that was not available to her before as a single person. And it's a certain amount of respect in her eyes that she gets no matter what, no matter who, no matter what. Or I guess you can also argue, no, that she has chosen that this person is also that. Like I like literally want someone to be like, Chris, just so you know, Keith. Yeah, like people. This is what would make sense. People are imperfect, as you know, and Keith was the head of a children's choir community center. It's a children's choir community center. It's a community center of children's choirs where he had donated his whole time, and he got, listen, you know, somewhat into a scandal with some money, and that's why he's in prison. But he's a beautiful soul that the entire community and congregations across the land are like, Keith, and that is why, you know, the respect is there. Like, and also like, you know, he's like saved babies, you know, like in some way.
And also saved by Jesus Christ. He's a born again Christian. He's ready to go and like love the Lord in public. Okay, you're right. And so but that's not the case. I think, listen, I don't know exactly what it is, but here's one theory. I
Okay.
watched something on TikTok where this Black woman was saying, she was on a podcast, and she was like, before anybody can talk to me about marriage or being married or whatever, I need you to look to your left and your right in your family. Do you know any other married people? Do you know any married people? And I thought about it to myself, and I was like, yes, I know 3, 4. I know my parents. 5. I know my parents. I know my aunt, Judith. I know my brother. I know my cousin. And I know one other person I can't remember. So she was trying to say that a lot of people have ideas about marriage when they have not seen marriage and they don't know what marriage looks like. And so therefore you can't have an opinion on what that looks like. Now, this is just, I think, someone who's saying that when people give her advice who've never been around marriage or whatever. And I think that Letitia is one of those people who has, maybe not in a long time, been around it. And so that's why she gets her status from it in a way that she can hoard or lord above other women in her life. Because that's all she's saying it for. She's not saying it for other men. She's saying it for other women to make them feel like you're not a wife. So
Wow, that's so astute. I feel like that's so astute. I just want to like tip my hat. That felt very insightful. Also, you know, she was on a podcast, by the way. She like
Letitia?
yeah. She was on a podcast and she let a bunch of stuff out. And then there was a bunch of stuff that came out also about her business, like basically that she hasn't paid rent, not ever. And I don't think that she has that accounting business anymore, honey. I don't think the boss bitch accounting is still happening for her.
I mean, that tracks, no?
You know what also is, wait, one small thing, can I talk about this, which is also like a weird thing? Okay. So so going in the bar, she's talking to her friend before she even goes outside and has a conversation with him. But she's saying about that ring. She's like, yeah, the ring, you know, she's, you know, again, a part of this, like, I'm a wife, I have this ring, and look at the ring and the thickest nails. And she's like, it's 15, she goes, it's 15.5 or whatever, God bless. And then she was like, it was more than my car. But she's also driving like a white Mercedes. She says this. Well, I know she says it's more than my car. And she's driving a white Mercedes of SUV, not the G-Wagon, the SUV. And that is a lower of the Mercedes lineup, but it's definitely more than 15,000 unless she bought it used or something. And what a great deal. And then what I'm going to say is, what a great deal if she got that white Mercedes for less than 15,000. Did anyone clock that? And I was like, I mean, listen, there's a part of her that maybe is a little boss bitch when it comes to spending money. But I also like don't want her to fight over 5,000. Like, you know, like it makes me upset because then when she goes out, basically, yes, well, you can bring it up, but you know, she calls the man, or no, well, yeah, basically, as we said, she gets a phone call from her man. And the man is why calling, because he has been tipped off to that 15 G's are missing from his bank account. Now, the first thing I thought about was, no, really only 5. Only 5 G's is missing. Because she told us, whether this is true or not, that he allowed her 10 G's to buy the ring. And he knew that she was going to go buy the ring. So really, only 5 G's are missing.
Yep. How much do wedding rings cost? Do you have any idea?
You know what? No, because the truth of the matter is it's when you say rings, it's like it could be anything. It's how much are diamonds and how much are gold or platinum silver. You know, like it's like Right. So like, remember how, God bless, I think David and Sheila like bought a ring. You know, he bought a ring for like, boop,
And
boops.
then we saw the ring, and I knew it was Marsha.
Yeah, and remember how Brittany Karak was like so happy about an $8,000 ring or something like that.
Oh, I just have
Remember?
no idea. Like I know how much. Like I have no idea how much like wedding engagement and the band cost. And then like, aren't the women supposed to buy the ring for the man too? Like men buy the woman's ring, and women buy the men's ring.
You know what? I have no idea. I don't
Okay,
know.
great. I don't know either. I
Yeah.
don't know either. But
Guess who's not been married? Letitia. Listen. Letitia's going. If you ever listen to this podcast, she'd be like, "These two bitches don't count. They're
they're
not
not
married.
worthy.
They
They're
have
not
no
wives.
husbands, honey. They have
Hmm.
no. Why am I listening to husbandless bitches? Okay, so I ain't
Yes,
listening. So I'm
exactly.
just like, at the end of the day, anyone can. At the end of the day, we can call it anyone, and we all or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was
Yeah.
funny to me. But also, Aunt Marcia is a snitch. Okay.
Yes, apparently Aunt Martha's a snitch, and she's upset because Aunt Martha's not minding her own business, which I would agree, because how did Aunt Martha have the wherewithal to jump on the phone that quick and be like, boy, she spent 15K. What you think about that? And maybe Aunt Martha's there to watch her in general, because why other would Aunt Martha be there to watch her daughters when they're not his kids? So makes sense.
I mean, not every EB is an EB. Not every EB is in a car.
You're right.
Aunt Martha, honey, has been there. Or Aunt Marcia has been there the whole time, acting like a friend, keeping up,
Yes.
keeping up, and
Scoping the scene.
keeping that nose sniffing. Like making sure that things are like, she's always been like, she loves Keith. Keith is her favorite. Keith, I swear to God, has hung the moon somewhere. Like there is the adoration for this person. I've just never felt it, never seen it. And I've wanted it for myself the entire time.
No, I mean, you only think there's adoration because she keeps saying there is. We don't know that there is in real time. Um, all right,
Marcia
let's move
loves him.
on.
Marcia been loving him though. Like
I
the
love
cheetah
Don's
tag.
too. I loved Ladani too. Okay, that boy could go to jail, and I would still love him. Um, I
All
mean, if
right,
he's
babe.
in jail, someone did something wrong, because he like is the cutest tootie. Okay, so next we have Brittany, another Brittany, and Andy, and Andy's the cop, and this was like a throwaway scene. Really, what even happened?
They wanted to be funny, so they talked two grown men into going lingerie
Oh
shopping.
yes,
And
yes.
he's on the phone with Brittany. He's FaceTiming Brittany, and he's like, "Look, Brittany, like like you're gonna get out soon, and like I'm gonna buy you some laundry." And I was like, "I'm sorry, come again?"
Mm-hmm.
And he had said lingerie, but
Mm-hmm.
it sounded like
Mm-hmm.
laundry.
Mm-hmm.
And he's
And
not
she's
going to
like,
La Perla. Yeah.
yeah, no. She's like, oh, like never in your life. Her laugh is a never in your life, sir. Don't buy me any lingerie. How dare you think anything that you could buy me anything? In fact, funnel all of your money to my children, because I at least owe them that, seeing as I messed up their life by being a drug addict. Now, she's on the phone with him, and his friend, who's an actual cop, comes over to the place, and he's like, the famous Britney, and she's like, ha, ha, ha. And I'm like, oh yes, that famous Britney. Like there could be like Britney Spears is the famous Britney.
Oh, baby,
Also like
baby.
the place is the most famous Brittany. Like no. But
Nope.
this Britney that's in prison is the one that is famous to him.
Famous. Yeah. I love the fact that Annie and his friends are both wearing the same glasses. They look like literally the emoji of the man wearing those like glasses, old yellow man. They go to this like sort of like trashy stripper place, lingerie place, which is fine, and the greatest place to buy stripper lingerie, which I mean, again, I didn't expect him to go to like, Ajin Tour. But it's just also weird to me that why would you bring a male friend to go lingerie shopping with you?
Because you don't
Like,
have
what
any
is?
other friends.
Yeah, because his own daughters are like, that's disgusting. He probably did ask his daughters first, and they were like, ew, God, no, Dad. And so he's like, well, you need to film with someone. It's like, I just can't okay. Here's a question: do straight men go lingerie shopping for their booze a lot? And if so, I would love to know that. Like, that'd make me very happy. Like, yeah. What?
I think that they do. I think some men do, especially the men who are into the alternative side of lovemaking. But he says that there's really lots of red flags. And I wrote down the word cohabitants, and I don't know why, because it was funny. It was the way it was said. Cohabitants. I was
Oh,
laughing.
I'll say it's because like the police friend is like grilling her. He's like, because he like had done background stuff on her, so he was like, "Why have you had so many addresses?" Well, I have lived at 3 different places for a substantial amount of time, you know. And he's like that, and she's like, okay. And then at one point they hang up, and then Andy's like, she's real country, and I wanted to know what that means. Like, to me, when you say someone's real country, I think they're barefoot all the time. What do you think?
I think that those who are in the South think of country as not being bad, but think of like them being, and not the negative connotation of this word, but being like a good old boy. Like good old boy is the title in general to me means the KKK without the headdressing and the outfits. Good old boys are KKK without the sheets. That's what it means to me. But if we want to think about what somebody who is from the South, who might have a warm feeling in their chesticles about what a good old boy means, I imagine that she is a good old boy. She's country. She's just somebody you can rely on, you can trust in, you understand, and you know their values.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I get that. I thought it was more like rough and tumble, like she's country, like she runs barefoot in the mud, and she will like rustle a wrestle
Pig,
a cow,
wrestle a
you know.
pig.
Yeah, just yeah, like she knows how to ride a horse, you know. Like there's just like she knows how to shoot a gun. Like I think of like Annie Oakley, like you know, I'm like she's Annie Oakley. Okay, so that's the most Broadway. You can tell who was a Broadway nerd and who's not a country listener. Okay, but I will tell you this. Then he's like, yeah, you know, I've been giving money. Every time I get money, I put it into like the Brittany fund. The Brittany fund is $1,200 that he just plans to like give her. And this conversation is because like she can, when she gets out of prison, what's going to happen? Can you afford, you know, to like pay for her? And he thinks, yeah, no, yeah, totally. And I'm also just going to give her 1,200, which I was like, then like, okay, is that just for her to have for that 1 week? Is that what you're giving her that you think that she's going to then just start her
Well, ladies and
life on?
gentlemen, we now know what Chris understands 100,000. First of all, you put here 1,200K, and I was like, God damn, 1,200K is a lot of fucking money.
I know I read it
heard
wrong.
I heard 1,200. Okay,
Yes,
and
that's
then
a
you put
yeah.
200K. First of all, and then you're like, is she supposed to spend it on a week, bitch, girl? People go to Walmart, Chris. I know you've never been. People go to
I
Walmart
have.
and they go
I
in
go to
there.
Target.
Target is not Walmart.
I know it,
Walk
but I'm not.
that
I don't
shit
like to
all
think
the
that
way
I'm like
back.
one of Neiman Marcus all the time. I know. I like Target more than I like Walmart. I go to places just not
Well,
Target.
I mean,
I don't like Walmart.
even the fancies of the fancies go to Target. It's the place to be. But anyway, so 1,200. You're right. Won't get her past 1 month. I mean, 1 week is being excessive.
Her
I mean,
first,
maybe
you
2
know, her
weeks.
first. Think about though. If you've been in prison for a long time, when you first get out, if someone just gave you 1,200, it's like you don't even have clothes. You have no what clothes? You're just like, oh my god, 1,200. It's like I gotta buy underwear. I gotta buy clothes. Okay, underwear, clothes. Like, do
Makeup.
I have hair ties? Like, do I even have a hair dry? Like, you know, 1,200. I'm just like, I don't know if she has those things. So I feel like, is that what he's gonna give her to use to move into his house and make things suitable with like a hair dryer and products?
I have no idea, but you're right. I
Cotton
mean,
balls?
1,200 to get started off is not a lot, especially if you don't go to some place that's like Dollar Tree and Walmart combined, right? Because you can get Q-tips at the Dollar Tree. You can get
Yeah.
Vaseline and lotion depending on your skin type at the Dollar Tree. You can get a lot of stuff at Dollar Tree. It's not a dollar, it's more than that, but whatever it is. I used to go to the Dollar Tree all the time thinking like, yes, I'm gonna get this hack. And everything I purchased, I was like, no, I'm better than this. But I tried. 1,200 is not a lot of money. It's not. It's not, especially. I mean, what was that white girl's name? Who was with Deontay? Nicole. Yeah, Nicole got like
Lindsay. Oh, the
both.
first time?
The first time, Nicole, right?
Yeah. Sorry.
She got like I think 300 or 600 from Deontay in cash, and then he also bought her like a Michael Kors watch and like other stuff. Okay, I have a question for you, Chris. If you were coming out of prison, would you want the $1,200 to go and do whatever you want with, or would you want your man to buy you Michael Kors or whatever you think is like comparable, Coach? Uh, would you want, and then like buy you a watch and buy you a starter kit and then give you like $600 to spend?
No, I mean, no. If I right out of prison, you got to give me the money. Let me do what I need to do first, and
Okay,
then
good, good,
as
good.
our relationship goes on, you can buy whatever you want, and then I will sell it because I don't want Michael Kors. But I am happy that he says a man's got to do what a man's got to do. There's a weird other
Mm-hmm.
scene where he's making cake with his son, but we should. Do you want to move on?
Yeah.
Oh, Chris and Jade. Ugh, this is like I don't have a lot to say about Chris and Jade because we don't get to see the best parts. Like all we get is just two kind of vapid sisters pretending they're Kardashians in a car talking back into each other. And then we get to miss the best part. And then the only good thing that really happens is at the end for me, which is basically that, yeah, we get to see him and they're like Romeo and Juliet outside of this prison. And for some reason, he gets to be on TV and they're like screaming up at the balcony. And yeah, like it's interesting that we're allowed to have this scene. Like someone's in prison, we get to see him like screaming out. I mean, just the scene because no one else gets to see that.
Yeah, well, first of all, they say that the place that he's in is predominantly Native American, which does not, I mean, the sister's like, ooh, like he gets to be around his people. And all I keep thinking is like, there's this many Native Americans. And if one prison can fill up the amount of Native Americans in this area who's in a prison, I feel like there's some type of school to prison pipeline. Like there's no reason why it should be so like, it's predominantly Native American. And like, then I mean, listen, I'm happy that the powwow was great. I thought that I really want to know what the sister thought about the powwow because she said that was the most interesting thing I've ever been a part of. And everybody makes it seem like it's feel good, but the way she says it, she doesn't just come out and be like, that was so cool. I'm so happy for Chris that he gets to have like a part of his culture at this time. Like she can't even recognize that she's on TV to be smart enough to say something positive about the Native Americans who've had every shitty shit happen to them throughout the last fucking 500 years. And so it's just really interesting that she couldn't do it. She couldn't do it. Because she was just like,
Right.
that's so weird. I feel like I know him because he's so nice. And I like that part. But then also Chris, like, listen, Jay looks so much bigger than her, right? Jay looks so much. But then, like, is she? You know what I'm saying? Like, is she? How much taller is she? She must be at least 5 inches, right?
Yeah.
Like 5 inches taller.
Do you
Jade is 6 foot and her sister is 6'2", right?
Yeah, it is a discrepancy. We definitely have a lot in this car, so it's a big shot. We just get it over and over again. Remember when before they went to the hotel, or I'm sorry, before they went to the powwow, the sister was like, Chris should kiss my feet. And then like her sister called her out for having gross feet.
Yeah. Yes. She was like, yeah, nobody would want to kiss those feet. And I'm like, girl, has she had a lot of bridge and tunnel action? Meaning that she like goes to whatever the major city is in like heels or whatever, and then like walks home barefoot because she can't handle it.
Honey, is she country?
I don't know, girl. Did you? I mean, you remember that you did that when you had your Del Close marathon. I don't know if you wore heels or not. I can't recall. I know I wore heels one time and it was not the best choice.
We've all made bad choices.
I had the craziest outfit on during Del Close. But anyways, go ahead.
Well, I had a great transition, which was we all have bad choices, which leads us to our last couple. Go ahead, Wah.
Okay, so our last couple is Asante and Renika. And as you guys know, Asante recently passed away on the 2nd of September due to a car crash. I'm going to read a post by Rewatch Reality on Instagram, which you could follow. Rewatch Reality. A crash yesterday evening on Highway 106 and Highway 17 bypass left 1 dead and sent 4 local youths to the hospital. According to social media posts by family members of those involved in the crash, a car fleeing from law enforcement struck a Ford F-250 driven by one of the young residents in short distance from the gas station on Highway 106. The truck flipped multiple times before coming to rest in a ditch, according to social media posts by family members. All four occupants of the truck were transported to Northeast Georgia Medical Center, where they were treated for injuries received in the wreck and have been released as of early this morning. WNEG News has requested reports from Georgia State Patrol and law enforcement officials regarding the chase that resulted in the wreck and further information on other individuals involved, including the fatality. So he was the fatality. Says that he was in the car with youth, so maybe he was the oldest person in the room. I'm not sure, but Asante has unfortunately passed away. And with, this show, we've had several folks leave us from this show. And so all I want to say is positive vibes and rest in power to those of his family and him. And, my heart goes out to the folks who've had some loss in this situation.
Yeah. Yeah. And they're gonna be on the next season. So yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I wonder if that's still gonna happen or not. We'll see. He leaves behind, I think, maybe a child that's not yet born, or a person holding a child not yet born, and a girlfriend. I don't know how I said that way. I'm sorry. He has maybe like a baby and a girlfriend. I'm not quite sure. So God bless. Anyway, let's pick up though where we know, which is Nika has been driving, and last she heard, he's been let out of prison, and she can't believe it because she feels like he had that thing on his record and therefore he couldn't have gotten out. And so then she starts to be like, well, the prison system is notoriously horrible at communication. And listen, I'm not saying she's wrong, but I did LOL because all we've seen this entire time is her having incredibly easy conversations anywhere she wants through this judicial system anytime by people who are only too happy to answer her phone call with one or two rings and say yes ma'am at the end. So I was like, okay.
Yeah, I'm like, you have the better version of what other people go through when they're dealing with the prison system. So she drives, continues her journey on her way to him. Remember, his phone was cut off and she couldn't get in contact with the family member whose phone number she gave. And so she is at the motel, and she wakes up in the morning and she's got some phlegm in her throat, and they make sure to capture her coughing that out of her throat. And she's in front of the mirror getting ready. And Chris, what do you think of that?
Okay, sorry, I had written there, so she's letting me say it. First of all, I noticed that she needs a new robe, which made me like, oh, girl, get back to where you were and sell more those eyelashes and get a beautiful robe. You deserve a robe that she needs a new robe. The other thing is though, I clocked the Anastasia bra whiz, and we all did too. Okay, so there's my and back to my lab.
Okay, and so then she is done getting ready, and she's like, tits on point. Got my push-up bra on, and ooh, I love him. She's in her car, and the producer asking her questions. She's like, I can't wait to see my man in person and forever. So then she pulls up and she's like, this ain't no jail. You kidding me? Inmates walking around and shit. And, there were. So this was a really relaxed environment. This was an environment in which you were coming to pick up your loved one, or maybe they're there for a couple of days and then you come and get them. But then she's sitting in there. She's like, she goes inside and she talks to the lady, and the lady has fully agreed to be on camera. So we're grateful for that. And she's like, no, ma'am, you're going to have to wait an hour. And she's like, I don't understand. So you can't even tell me if he's coming here? And the lady's like, no, ma'am. You will have to wait outside for an hour. They'll be out in an hour. And she's like, ugh. both of them acting for the cameras. Renika goes outside, supposedly waits for an hour. Then we see this Ford F-150, which I'm telling you is exactly my dad's vehicle. That is my dad's vehicle that pulled up, and Asante got out of the back seat the way LaDonnie does, except for handcuffed. And he gets out, and she's like, woo, my baby! And he goes through processing, and she's like frustrated that he can't come out right away. And then we find out all of the drama. Not only is he got another boo on the line, he's calling his cousin the real number, trying to figure out a way to ensure that his lines don't get crossed and Renika don't find out about the other girl. And then he has the audacity to say that he don't know why Renika's not paying for it because that's supposed to be his girl. So it seems weird that she's not going to pay the $3,000 to get him out. Chris?
I don't know what to say. Other than what a life and what an episode and what a world we live in. Can you believe it? It's a holiday weekend, and you know what? We had a great weekend, and we really hope you did too. Can't believe that summer is ending, but Wah couldn't be happier because we're getting into Wah's favorite time of year. You should know one thing about Wah is that one time Wah, this is one of my favorite things. One time, about like I don't know, like 3 years ago, I was like, Wah, what do you want to be for Halloween? And she's like, oh, I'm going to be a glamour witch. And I was like, I'm sorry, come again? She's like, I'm going to be a glamour witch. And I was like, that's a thing. And she said it like it was like, like, yeah, but we all know the three types of witches. There's the evil one, there's there's the good one, and then there's the glamour one. And I was just like always loved that. But then when I went to Beyonce, I had to buy eyelashes. And then when I bought eyelashes, they were called glitter witch, which now I realize that means I was wrong. And Wah was right. And Wah, I'm so happy it's your favorite time of year.
I mean, here's the truth. Like, if I'm the Halloween connoisseur, there's like a hearth witch, which is like a witch that's kind of discombobulated. She's got frizzy hair. She like makes things. She's always cooking. She's always got potions. She has a cat, and she wears patchwork and kind of kooky outfits. Right? That's a hearth witch. And then you've got like an evil witch, which is clear what an evil witch is. And then you've got a glamour witch. Now, I'm sure there's other types of witches. I'm just saying that those are the top three. And a hearth witch, I am not. Even though I've been baking bread, not a hearth witch. Am I evil? No. Can I be glamorous? Yes.
So hearth witch is cottage core witch.
But even like she's bumbly. She like trips over things, like,
There's also ugly witch, just like ugly, like moly, like big nosed witch, Wow.
But yeah.
What a deep.
Okay, you guys. So thank you so much for being here. If you would like to see the visuals of what you're listening to right now, you can do so on patreon.com/DocuSweeties for $10 a month. You get a live every first Monday of the month, which is today. And if you were following us, you could join that. But if you do follow us later on, you can get the posted live, not live, but the live, So patreon.com/DocuSweeties. But if you can't do that, Chris will tell you what you can do to support your girls.
Oh, easily. Just go onto your social medias, and we are on Instagram at DocuSweeties. We are on TikTok at DocuSweeties. We're on X, Twitter, at DocuSweeties1. We are on Facebook. We have a DocuSweeties patron. Sorry, what am I wrong with me? We have a Facebook group, the DocuSweeties podcast group. We also have a secret patron group, but God bless. You can only get in if you are a member. And other than that, we love you guys so much. And if you haven't, give us 5 stars. Bye.
Yay! Bye.